Law enforcement fights crime in our neighborhoods. The eyes and ears of the community can prove vital in these efforts. Stay vigilant, your tip could crack the next case. This is a KLFY Plus exclusive, Acadiana Crimestoppers.
Welcome to this week's edition of Acadiana Crimestoppers, the show which partners law enforcement and community to help solve and prevent crime on our streets. In this episode, we will cover the crime of the week parish by parish. We will also talk Lafayette Parish's Most Wanted with Lafayette City Marshal Reggie Thomas. And we'll have a discussion with Sergeant Robin Green and Lieutenant Nicole Oakes with the Lafayette Police Department to find out how the department is tackling crime in Lafayette. Our first crime of the week comes from Acadia Parish, where law enforcement is searching for a suspect who fired several rounds from a vehicle in front of a business in Rain. Here's Sheriff KP Gibson.
Detectives with the Rain Police Department are investigating an illegal use of a dangerous weapon that occurred in the 600 block of Reynolds Avenue. This incident occurred on August 9, 2025 at approximately 1:40 p.m. The suspect fired rounds from his vehicle and was parked at a local business, endangering other individuals in his vicinity. He is described as a black male driving a silver sedan, unknown make or model. If you have any information regarding this crime, you're to call the tip line 789-TIPS or download our P3 app on your mobile device to report your tip. All calls will remain anonymous and can receive up to a $1,000 cash reward for information leading to an arrest in this case. Be the difference. For Crimestoppers of Acadia Parish, I'm Sheriff KP Gibson.
If you have any information on this crime, call Crimestoppers at 789-TIPS. You could earn up to a $1,000 cash reward.
Authorities in St. Landry Parish need your help solving an investigation into the theft of lawn equipment. Here's more in this week's Crime of the Week.
You're watching St. Landry Crimestoppers.
The St. Landry Parish Sheriff's Office and Lieutenant Damian Morgan come to Crimestoppers and ask your help with the theft of lawn equipment.
On June 20th, 2024, deputies responded to a report of a vehicle theft and theft of lawn equipment at the address of 367 Roxanne Road in Sunset. A 2003 Chevy Silverado 2500 pickup and a 2024 Red Buck Dandy utility trailer with numerous pieces of lawn equipment were stolen from the residence. 3 commercial lawn mowers, 3 lawn trimmers, 3 leaf blowers, a string trimmer and edger were taken from the trailer and the cargo area of the pickup as well. The pickup was recovered abandoned in a yard on Olivier Road in Opelousas on June 24th. The trailer, equipment, and tools from the truck, along with the license plate for the truck Z652563, are still missing.
Anyone with information on this or any other crime can call St. Landry Crimestoppers at 948-TIPS. Submit a tip using any mobile device by dialing **tips. Remember to download our P3 app and tap the app and say it here to submit your anonymous tips. On behalf of the St. Landry Crimestoppers Board, Lieutenant Damian Morgan, Sheriff Bobby J. Guitros, and the St. Landry Parish Sheriff's Office, thank you and have a blessed day.
If you have any information on this crime, call Crimestoppers at 948-TIPS. You could earn up to a $2,500 cash reward.
Lafayette Crimestoppers and the Lafayette Police Department need your help in identifying a suspect involved in an aggravated battery. According to authorities, the suspect struck the victim on the head with a firearm while the victim was asleep. Police say the suspect will be riding in a white SUV. If you know the identity of the wanted man, call Lafayette Crimestoppers at 232-TIPS or download the P3 TIPS mobile app. Here's another suspect wanted by Lafayette Police. Authorities need your help identifying this person. Police say the suspect entered a bank in Lafayette and used the victim's identity and personal PIN number to withdraw $3,000 in cash at the ATM inside the bank. Here now is another look at the suspect. If you know this person's identity, call Lafayette Crimestoppers at 232-TIPS. All callers remain anonymous. Authorities in Lafayette are looking for some fugitives wanted for OWI, domestic violence, among other offenses. That's why we've invited Lafayette City Marshal Reggie Thomas once again. So you're joining us on the couch here on Acadiana Crimestoppers. Thank you so much for being with us again this week, like you are every week.
Thank you. I appreciate it. What you're doing and what the citizens of this city is doing by contacting us is really helping my agency. So I enjoy coming here.
Well, that's just the purpose of Crime Stoppers. When we created this show, we wanted to partner law enforcement and community together to help find fugitives and to help solve crimes. And it's just been so great having you be a part of this, and I'm glad that we can be of service any way we can.
And we thank you for that.
All right, so let's jump right into it. Our first person, Isaac Jude Hidalgo, OWI first offense, and he committed that offense in Lafayette. But again, like we're stating, these are people also that didn't show up to court. So not only did they get the OWI, but they didn't show up to court.
You know, we talk about that every week, and one of the things that I want this show to do is to tell people, if you show up to court, you know, you won't be up here, and there's other options, fines, community service, is different things that you can do that the judge can sentence you to. But when you don't show up to court, you give no choice. And what happens is then the judge say, okay, you did not show up to court, now you have no bond, and now you have to go to jail until your next court date. So today, we're looking at an OWI first offense. I was bringing second offenses, but I thought about it and I said, let's bring first offenses, because this should show most people, if you know you had an OWI and you know you did not appear at court, then contact my agency. So this gentleman we're looking for right now is local. I know he is, and you know, we just can't locate him right now. So we asking, just contact our agency, it's anonymous, and just let us know that, hey, I know where he's at, he might be my neighbor or whatever, and we'll bring him to court so he can face the judge and he can face his OWI. Yeah,
and it's just about being proactive. Instead of talking about second offenses, we're trying to prevent second offenses.
That's it. Yes.
Yep. Our second person, Dennis Alfaro, OWI first offense, and he committed that in Lafayette, and I'm guessing no show in court.
No show in court again. And we talk about OWIs because it's very important. People has lost family members. Family members has been in major accidents. Somebody's watching right now probably has been in a major accident with somebody driving drunk. What we're saying is that, look, we're not going to tolerate this. We're going to put your picture up. If you're not going to show up for court, then we're going to come pick you up. And this is a way that we can come pick people up, because we're getting calls. Yeah. So if you see yourself, and I always talk about this, if you see yourself on here, pick up the phone and contact us. You know, it means a lot more if you come turn yourself in.
Exactly. Third person, Amari Christine Barrow, OWI first offense, committed in Lafayette. No bond and no show.
No show again. The judge, I talk to the judge all the time, and it is frustrating when you have a docket and you have people that's not showing up. That's disrespectful to the court. So when you don't show up, you're first on our list. So I tell you all the time, show up for court. If you're not going to show up, we're going to show up at your house.
Yeah, and even if they do show up to court, right, they would have some kind of representation, even if it's a public defender, right? Even
yes.
If maybe they're saying, well, I can't afford a lawyer, so I'm scared, so I'm not showing up to court. The court will provide that.
And that's really, I'm glad you brought that up. One of the things is, a lot of times people show up for court and maybe you don't have the fees for your fine or something like that. Well, guess what? The judge gives you time. It's not like, you know, they can push something back or whatever. But when you don't show up, then you give no option but to have no bond.
Exactly. So our last person on the list this week, James Angelo Green, domestic abuse battery, first offense, committed in Lafayette, no bond. So no bond, no show, and it's domestic abuse battery.
And you know how serious I am about domestic violence. So what happens with domestic abuse is that this is probably a neighbor next door. This is somebody you probably see every day, because it's not like somebody driving around or you have different cities or this happened in your neighborhood. Mm-hmm. So, you know, a lot of times they'll contact, somebody will see this and they'll call him or whatever, and they'll contact my office. If they do that, then, you know, we then bring you to court and we deal with it at that time. But when you don't show up, then you're saying that I committed a domestic battery and I don't even respect the court to show up. So I'm telling you, contact our agency. If you know him, which I know a lot of people is looking right now and will know him, and I always tell you, when we show the domestic violence, a lot of times we pick the person up right after. So remember I said that. So what I will tell you is you need to pick up the phone right now. You need to contact my agency at 337-291-8725 and come turn yourself in.
And that's for him and also anyone that knows him, and your call remains anonymous, correct?
Yes, it does.
All right, Marshal Reggie Thomas, thank you so much for joining us again this week.
Thank you for having me.
We'll be right back.
This is a KLFY Plus exclusive, Acadiana Crimestoppers.
Lafayette Crimestoppers and the Lafayette Police are looking for help identifying suspects wanted for multiple vehicle burglaries. The burglaries happened during the evening hours between September 10th and September 11th. The suspects are accused of burglarizing multiple vehicles in a neighborhood between Pointe de Mouton and Maryview Farm Road. If you know the identity of the suspects, call Lafayette Crimestoppers at 232-TIPS or download the P3 TIPS mobile app. Investigators with the St. Martin Parish Sheriff's Office are asking for your help solving the theft of a utility trailer. It happened Sunday, August 17th in the 1000 block of Abear Lane Highway. Deputies say the utility trailer was stolen sometime between August 9th and August 17th. The trailer is described as a black 2001 Iron Horse open cab utility trailer. If you have any information regarding the whereabouts of the utility trailer or those responsible for the theft, call St. Martin Crimestoppers at 441-3030 or use a P3 TIPS app.
This is a KLFY Plus exclusive, Acadiana Crimestoppers.
Welcome back to Acadiana Crimestoppers. So we are here with Lafayette Police Sergeant Robin Green and Lieutenant Nicole Oakes. Thank you so much for joining us. We haven't had Lafayette Police on Crimestoppers yet, so we're so excited to have you guys.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, absolutely.
And just a lot of great things to talk about. That's why I wanted you guys on. Firstly, the new police chief. Recruitment has been a big initiative that he's been driving, and things are looking good.
Oh, yes, absolutely. So that's one of the things that he focused on whenever he became police chief, because he wanted to enhance the department by bringing in more officers and basically bringing our numbers down as far as for openings. And so year to date, we have actually hired 37 officers as of today. And so right now we currently have 21 openings. So anybody watching is looking for a job and interested in law enforcement, come on down.
Yeah, but I remember him, I think it was CivicCon, he was talking with the mayor president, and he was saying how many openings they had when he took over and how those openings have just really diminished. So that really speaks to it's working. The recruitment process is working for Lafayette Police.
Yes, it is. And so to help with the recruiting process, what he did was he gave out background checks, which is part of the recruiting process, to our internal affairs division. That way our recruiter can focus more on getting out there, reaching people, and getting more people interested in coming to our department. So by streamlining the process and taking a little bit off the recruiter's plate, it would allow her to have more capabilities to reach people and get out there and basically, you know, just hire more officers.
Yeah, and he's restructured or basically added the amount of patrol that is on the streets of Lafayette, and of course that helps in terms of bringing crime down, correct? More eyes.
Yes, it does. So it helps with our response time, because now we have more officers on the road, and so it increases our time to get to calls because we have more officers on the shifts. And then we have more boots on the ground, more officers that can address the needs of our community, because our community is growing. So as our community grows, we need more officers on the road. And not to mention, it is a safety issue when we can have more officers out there and not smaller shifts where we're sending one officer to a call. Now we can double the capacity of officers that we can dispatch to calls.
Yeah, and in terms of community policing, you guys have a new division that has been created at Lafayette Police, and that's why you're here, Lieutenant Oakes. Tell me about that.
So what the chief did was, one of the first things that he did whenever he became chief of police was he created the community engagement section / division. there are 5 lieutenants that are assigned to each precinct because there are 5 precincts within the city. We work with the council members to address quality of life issues and handle those, but we also take complaints directly from citizens to address what their complaints may be. It may be anything from traffic to an actual crime that's been happening, like burglaries in their neighborhood. You know, a lot of people are really hesitant to call 911, and that is a big message that I really want to get out there, is that we do need people, really good people that are in their neighborhoods who care. We need them to reach out and call 911, because without our community, we can't handle any situations. The great thing about the community engagement lieutenants is that we're there, we're hearing in real time what the issues are and their concerns are, we're addressing them as quickly as we can, and we have access to different departments within the city that regular people may not. Our regular citizens are busy, they don't have time to track things down, and a lot of us have been there, all of the lieutenants have been there 20+ years, so we have some experience in reaching out to the different sections of the city and being able to help our community, and that's what it's all about, is hearing what their issues are and helping them to resolve them.
It's helping the community, and tips are so important. Everyone thinks these detectives are all just sitting by these computers using AI, using all this advanced, and you guys do. But sometimes it's just tips from the community that can solve crimes and bring perps to justice. And that's why those tips and the volume of tips increasing, that's really important. I can tell you, it is amazing how many people have been positive in their response. I get emails with videos that I can forward to our detectives, forward to the officers who are working the road, so that they know I've put details in place in certain neighborhoods because they're experiencing higher than normal criminal activity, usually car burglaries, because, you know, we have youth in our community who like to go and pull door handles. Everyone knows this. And so part of that is in pulling those door handles, they're also getting guns, they're taking money, they're taking the cars themselves because people are leaving their keys in their cars. Oh, wow. Yes, so it's a great concern. And you know what, we're fortunate to live in Lafayette because our people in Lafayette have reached out to me and to the other lieutenants and given us the information that we need, and we're able to get it to our officers. And so when our officers are out there patrolling, they're having an idea. Okay, well, I know that last week it was a black car, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to look to see if a black car is in the neighborhood that maybe doesn't belong there. It gives us something to work with while they're out there, and we're not just starting from scratch. And it's amazing at what their cameras pick up. So yeah, I was just about to mention that the increase in intel is great, but everyone has a camera now.
Yes.
You know, it used to be rare to catch someone committing a crime on camera, but now everyone has a doorbell camera.
Yes.
Almost, and not sure the exact population of Lafayette. It's probably hundreds of thousands, right? So you have a lot of cameras out there, a lot of homes, a lot of cameras, and you guys have to go through all of that data.
Not to mention our cameras as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have them all throughout the city right now, and so that is a great tool to, you know, defer criminal activity, and so that's part of her job too, because people may request camera systems.
You guys have eyes and ears everywhere, don't you?
Yeah. We're trying. We are trying, and it is a process. So if you do want to, if there is criminal activity in an area and we can prove that there's criminal activity there, that's why it's so important to make that logged call through 911, because I can go back and access that data. Then I can say, well, this particular place is having an increase in activity, and they do need a camera put up as soon as possible, versus someone who would just like to have a camera in their neighborhood because it makes them feel safe. I want to help them also, but really where the criminal activity and the crime is occurring, that's where we need to address the major issues and put those cameras.
Yeah, so part of why we started this show, Acadiana Crimestoppers, we want to bond law enforcement with the people they serve. So I'm going to give each of you a couple of seconds, just any message that you guys want to give to the community. Well, we'll start with you, Sergeant Green.
Well, we want the community to know that we are here for you, and that anything that they may have, they think might be pertinent information for us, don't hesitate to call. Any information is always useful for us, and so a lot of times we have people that be like, well, I just don't want to bother y'all. You're not bothering us. That's what we're here to do. We're here to perform a service, and our service is helping the community. So by all means, and if they don't want to call us directly, they can call Lafayette Crimestoppers and give that information, dialing 232-TIPS, or they can use the app on their phone. They can either download our app and submit a tip through our app, or they can use the Crime Stoppers at the P3 mobile app. So there are so many different avenues, because I do hear from time to time that people are afraid to give us that information. So there are avenues where they can provide us with the information and still stay anonymous.
Lieutenant?
I would like to say that we have a great community in Lafayette. We really, truly do, and that our people, our citizens really care, and that's what helps us to do our job so effectively. Our officers are also trained to interact with the public. So I want them to keep in mind that we do this for a reason, because our hearts and our souls are in it, and we really truly do want to help people. Don't hesitate to call 911. It is important. It's not just about what you think might be an emergency. It's what bothers you. Follow your gut. If something doesn't feel right, it's just a phone call. And if you don't want to call the emergency line, then call the police department, 291-8600. And there's always 24/7 someone to answer that phone and tell you whether you need to make that report or not. Also, community engagement. We're here. If you have an issue with whether it's a car that's in your neighborhood or something that you don't feel good about and you want further information, that's what we're here for. Call the police department and ask for your precinct lieutenant, community engagement lieutenant, and let us help you with that.
All right, thank you both so much for being here on Acadiana Crimestoppers. We'll be right back.
This is a KLFY Plus exclusive, Acadiana Crimestoppers.
Welcome back. Our partnership with law enforcement continues next week. Join us as we show you more wanted fugitives throughout Acadiana. Lafayette City Marshal Reggie Thomas will be with us once again. We'll see what other suspects he is looking for. Also, a one-on-one conversation with members of the Iberia Parish Sheriff's Office. They're going to be explaining what they are doing to keep the streets of Iberia Parish safe. We appreciate you tuning in to Acadiana Crimestoppers exclusively on KLFY+. We will be back next week detailing the latest crimes to be solved and perps to be brought to justice.